about modules. We've touched on modules a few times in other videos, but this is going to be more specifically about modules. Let me just show you where they are first. You go to Layout and Themes, and then this icon here is Modules. And this area will let you add modules and configure them however you want. And that basically means almost anything. A module, it has a specific functionality based on what type it is, and that's pretty much unlimited. It comes with a set of a few different modules which you can pick from, or you can add your own, and each one will have its own function. So it's a very powerful area, and basically in this section you can add them and configure them, but they won't actually be on your site necessarily. They'll be plugged into your site in other areas, but this is just sort of like a holding place where you can add and configure them, and then plug them in other areas. And I'll show you how that works later on in the video. But first, let me just show you what they are. So let me just add one. So hit Add Module up here. I'll just basically, here is where you can pick which type of module you want to use. So you click there, and there's this drop down menu, and you can see there's a lot that are preloaded with Contao. Like I said, you can also add your own, which we can show you in other videos, but I'll just go with the standard ones here. If you click this icon here with the question mark, that kind of explains what each of them are. I'm not going to go into all of them. I'm just going to kind of pick one and just give you a sense of how it works. So let me just find one here. A navigation menu is a pretty good thing to have. So I'll just select that, and I'll give it a title. Navigation module. And basically, depending on what you pick here, whatever type of module you select, different options will show up here. So there are different settings for this particular module, which are specifically for this module. You wouldn't find them on, say, a calendar module or something like that. I won't get into it too much, but I'll just show you. For a navigation, it'll allow you to set a reference page. And basically, this shows you your site structure, which we have already set up over here. There's a whole other video about the site structure, but basically, whatever you've made for the structure of your site will show up here, and you can select where you want it to draw the navigation from. And that's handy because once you have that set up, this module will automatically adjust. If later on you change something in the site structure, it will automatically adjust the navigation. So you don't have to like go in and change straight up code or anything like that. It automatically adjusts. So that's pretty handy. I'm not going to explain all this other stuff. Basically, just settings you can configure however you want. So I saved and closed, and I now have one module I'm able to draw from. So like I said, I've added that to the project, but this isn't on the site right now. This is just, I'm able to draw on it now. It's kind of in this holding area. So let me just show you a few ways you can add the module to the site now that it's available to be plugged in. One way to do it is as a content element in your articles section. So go to articles. Let me show you what this page looks like right now. Just got this stuff on it. Now, let me try to add it to the top of this page. So I'll go to this article here, and I'll add an element, and I'll select, I'll select module as the element type. This brings up the option of this drop down menu. Any module that I have set up will be showing here. And I can see I just have the navigation module. So I'll click that, and I'll save and close. So now that module is now a content element within the articles of the cats page. So I'll refresh that, and you can see the navigation showed up. So that's one way to do it. If you just wanted it in a specific area of your page, more often you'll have other ways of adding modules to your page. Especially with something like a navigation where you want it to be on almost every page, if not every page. You don't want to have to include that on every page. So the other way to include modules is to include them in part of the page layout itself. So I'll show that to you now. First, let me just I'll just delete what I just made there. Okay, so I'll go back. I'll go to themes, page layout, and I'll go to inside pages, which is I have this cats page set up to have the page layout called inside pages. That goes the same for dogs and other animals and all these other pages. They all have the same basic page layout assigned to them. So I would go to page layout, and right now it's basically all just the articles for the page is what's being set up for the page layout. I will create a new part here, and this will let you pick any of the modules that you have set up in the module area. So there's the navigation module. I'll click that, and I'll can just say which section of the page, which I've set up here, which section of the page I want this module to show up in. So I'll select left column, and I think I want it to be above. Right now I have some articles here showing up in the left column. I want it to show up above those pictures, so I'll just move the module so it appears above the articles. And now I'll save and close. And now when I refresh, this should disappear because I've deleted the content element that I made. But it should appear on the left up on top here. And there it is. And now the same should go for any other page that I have this page layout assigned to. So I'll go to the dogs page, and it's there, other animals, and so on. So that's a very useful way of including modules if you want it to have more global functionality. And now when you go to the modules section, any change that you make here will carry through to all of the pages where you have that module plugged into the page layout. So that's pretty handy. So that's the basic idea with modules. There's a lot of different types. Some of them will show you in other screencasts in more detail, like the news and calendar modules, that kind of stuff. But the basic idea here is just that in the module section, you can add a module which will have its own special functionality. You can configure it however you want, and then in the other areas of Contao, like articles and page layout, is where you actually get them onto your site and plugged in, and you can do that in a number of ways. But that's the basic idea.